Stephanie, now that it's over, what are your thoughts about the project?
I'm excited to see how it turns out using our new strengths that we got.
And what are you beginning to learn about yourself?
I'm beginning to learn the new strengths that I didn't know I had from taking the test online.
Thanks so much. Matt, now that day one is over, what are your thoughts about the project so far?
I really like it so far. I really like looking at different problems and trying to solve them, and being able to, with a group, come up with our own problem and we haven't really started yet, but find a way to solve something that you really think is important and would really benefit people is something that I really enjoy and have enjoyed so far, and hope to continue to do for the next 2 weeks.
Matt, what are you beginning to learn about yourself?
I've really learned how I can contribute my strengths to help the team, and also what weaknesses I may have, what things I might need to work on, and it's just really good to have 2 weeks to be able to kind of hone in those skills and be able to do it as part of a team, trying to solve a problem and being able to contribute whatever I can to doing so.
So Luke, now that day one is over, what are your thoughts about the project so far?
Yeah, well, I'm really excited to keep working with some of the guys we've already started with, and the topic we're kind of focusing on is gentrification, and I didn't really know much about that coming in here, so now even in a day that I've learned so much about it and kind of so much about how it affects people who are very close to me, live very close to kind of where I commute every day, that I think it is a pretty big issue, and I'm excited to continue to get to work and continue to learn more about that as the next 2 weeks go on.
And what are you beginning to learn about yourself?
So I think I've kind of been able to point out my strengths and weaknesses in the last day or so, kind of seeing how I can work well in a group, contributing my own ideas, my own questions, but at the same time also looking at others and kind of letting them come into the group, contribute their things, and taking a step back. So I've been able to see both from a passive and kind of an active standpoint the different viewpoints that both I and my teammates have.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So now that day one is over, what are your thoughts about the project so far?
So far, my thoughts about the project, mostly me being in a group, how all of us are going to be able to bring all our different ideas and combine it into one so that we can take the problem that we were assigned and try to solve it the best we can with as least hardships as we can.
Nice. And what are you beginning to learn about yourself?
Well, I think it started with the results of our strengths and weaknesses. In my team, the strengths that I've got, I'm seeing them and I'm using them in ways that I've never seen before, because before that, some of them I didn't even realize that I had.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So good morning. Now that day one is over, what are the thoughts you have about the project thus far?
Well, my thoughts on the project thus far is mainly that I'm really interested in it. I liked everything we were talking about yesterday. I liked all the team building activities. I like coming up with the ideas and the questions for that afterwards. So I'm really excited today, mainly just to see what's happening next and how it's going to connect to the following days we have.
And what are you beginning to learn about yourself?
I'm beginning to learn more about how I react in a team, but not necessarily typically I'm in a team or maybe I'm with someone socially, but I've never really fully interacted with a team in this sort of way, in sort of a working standpoint. So I'm very curious how that's going to happen and to get tasks done when it's built over time. So I'm very excited to see what happens there.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay, Jonathan, now that day one is over, what are the thoughts you're having about the project thus far?
Currently, I'm pretty excited for what is to come. It went better than I really expected because we did so much thinking about this current world and what was going to be happening. So I'm looking forward to what we're going to soon be doing, and I'm pretty excited in general.
And what are you beginning to learn about yourself?
I'm more for others than I really thought I was, because I knew I helped others, but now that I begin to think about it, I'm much more enveloped in other people's lives than I thought I was. Much more about helping others and you know, just making sure that they're okay, that I thought, so.
Thank you. Okay, so now that day one is over, what thoughts are you having about the project thus far?
So the project, you know, it's pretty fun. You know, I'm with all the Regis guys and it's pretty fun to do. It's like something that's meaningful to me and, you know, something that I find interesting. So I think that's, you know, always fun. But now we're kind of in the middle, you know, there's like a lot of different ways that we can take it. So, you know, at points it's kind of have to like refocus on some of the, you know, kind of your framework, basic stuff. But, you know, at points it can be like a little, you know, kind of chaotic, but, you know, you guys have been telling us that's kind of like, you know, part of the process. So right now we're there, but, you know, we're starting to get out of it and kind of like see, you know, the path that we, you know, we're starting to see the path. We don't know where it'll go, but we're starting to see the path that we might take, yeah.
What are you beginning to learn about yourself?
Well, one of the things that it said on my strengths was that I was like an achiever and I would want to get stuff done. And I never like really thought of I never really thought of myself or what I did that way, but kind of after reading it and how what I'm doing here, you know, I'm not willing just to kind of leave a problem be and come back to it. I just you know, I want to get through that problem and solve it with everybody, talk it out with everybody before, you know, we can even like move, you know, before we move on or before we like go for lunch. I just kind of want to, you know, kind of fix that problem or see what we can do, how we can solve that problem. And so, yeah, it's kind of part of me that I'm starting to see more now.
Thanks so much.
No problem.
Okay, John, now that day one is over, what thoughts are you having about the project thus far?
So day one was actually a really productive experience with the group, and I think we made some really great progress. And day two, we were learning a little bit more about what you guys were talking about with like that mountain we need to climb. And there was a little bit of tension within the group about, you know, who our users going to be and different things like that. And so I think day two has been like a growing experience and how we're going to overcome some of the challenges and like disagreements we've had within our group. And so I'm looking forward to doing that and hopefully coming to some coherence.
Great. What are you beginning to learn about yourself?
Well, I'm beginning to learn about myself, how I work in a team and a group. I've been involved in other extracurricular team activities like sports, but this is where we're specifically looking to solve a social problem. So this is kind of like what's applicable to social entrepreneurship, and this is something that's been a new experience for me and a learning experience, and just learning how I work in a team has been a productive thing for me to learn.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Chris, now that day one is over, what are your thoughts about the project thus far?
Overall, I think the projects are not only interesting but engaging, and I feel like being able to talk in a group environment is very beneficial for me as a person.
So what's something you're beginning to learn about yourself?
Relating to the theme of group work or working in a group environment, I feel like I can apply my strengths more clearly, and I can try to use my individual strengths in order to help the others in the group, and then we can all come to a general consensus over a specific idea or topic.
Awesome.
So,
thank you.
yeah.
Okay, Anne, so now that day one is over, what are some thoughts you're having about the project thus far?
This project was a great way for me and my teammates and classmates and teachers to get involved with each other on an issue that is important to all of us, and our project and our issue regarding gun violence and our scenario is really bringing us closer together, and you know, we're working together, bouncing ideas off each other and really hearing what each other has to say, and I really feel like I'm a part of something, and I feel like that's important.
Nice. And what are you beginning to learn about yourself?
One of my 5 strengths is positivity, and I've always felt like a positive, happy person. And working with my team, bring out the positive attributes in what we're doing. So,
Tyler, now that we're done day one, what are you thinking about the project thus far?
I'm really excited for the project, and I can't wait to see the final results.
What's something you've learned about yourself?
So far, I've learned that I do have the opportunity to make change, and I can do whatever I set my mind to.
Okay, so now that we're down to day one, what are you thinking about the project so far?
Well, I think it's really interesting on how I can see everybody working together and their different perspectives. Like when we put up the post-it notes, there are like so many ideas that come from just one topic, and it's interesting to see the different takes that people have, and it's kind of exciting to see.
Great. What's something you've learned about yourself?
Through the strengths test, I learned about my strength of ideation, and I didn't recognize that before, but I realized that I could come up with a lot of ideas, I guess, and help contribute to my team.